Which enemy in Elden Ring annoys you the most? I guarantee you just thought of one, and I want you to leave it in the comments. But for right now, we're actually going to take a look at what Rusty thinks are some of the 10 worst enemies in Elden Ring. 10 enemies that piss me off. Link in the description, as usual. I have a few ideas that come to mind, but I want to see if he has any of these before I go ranting on about some of the absolutely annoying, obnoxious, piece of crap enemies.
Sure hope I'm allowed to say piss in the title, so I guess it's time to just take the plunge and go down the roster of Elden Ring's cast of characters, most of which piss me off, but that doesn't make me special. What am I talking about here? Just start the video. Shut up. Number 1 on my list is the Academy Sorcerers. Oh, how cool you are camping at the tops of staircases or across bridges, spamming your little...
What? Look, they can be annoying, but it's hardly about their moveset. It's about their placement. Sometimes their placement is extremely irritating. Like, they're placed in such a way to be as inconvenient as possible. But the sorcerers, they're not. The Academy sorcerers are literally a step like above cannon fodder. They're not even that bad under any circumstances. There's no like mini boss versions of them. They're just not annoying at all. Like, they can be just barely annoying, I think. But to put them in a top 10 enemies that piss you off list is bizarre to me. I have no clue what he's thinking with this one. And that's just starting the video off. I honestly thought we'd have better material here to start off with, but I guess not.
How do you even find all these inconvenient spots to stand in? Why are there always 3 of you standing behind a whole barricade of trash mobs? And why the shit does closing distance require running an Olympic death gauntlet with giant jars, zombies, and dogs trying to nibble my nuts off? What's with the...
He even admits that it's more about their positioning. And even then, like, he's basically saying what I just said. And yet he proceeds to put it in his 10th spot in 10 enemies that piss him off. The thing is, the title is kind of vague. He didn't explicitly say it's the top 10 enemies that piss him off, or like, it literally just says 10 enemies that piss me off. I know you can't see the title, but there you go, 10 enemies that piss me off. I don't know what he's smoking on that one.
Fucking weird, out-of-place mascot helmet.
And he's ruining the YouTube thing by swearing so early in the video. Stop it.
Your entire skill set is just standing around looking funny with a helmet on your head, so quit pretending that book you're whacking me with isn't 5 grades above your reading level. That shit does damage too. Ow! Damn! What are you even hitting me with? Look at how small this is. It's barely big enough to be a collection of Hemingway poems, so why does it feel like I'm getting hit with a science textbook? Let's put the fucking Game of Thrones down and sign up for the weightlifting team. I think you missed your calling. Fuck's sake.
What the
Number
crap?
2.
Boy, why does he swear so much? Jeez, like, I understand being mad, but like, what the crap?
Dogs.
Yeah, I think we can all get behind dogs. I mean, it feels like they're either the most annoying thing on the planet, or you take them out with ease. Like, nowhere in between.
Jesus of Nazareth. What steroid-addled dumpster bin did you start eating out of? It's hard to tell what breed of dog these guys were before they started rotting inside out and became zombie puppos, but I think FromSoft needs to cool it with all the crossbreeding. The dogs in Elden Ring aren't just dogs now. There are different kinds you need to watch out for. Some of them inflict rot, some of them inflict hemorrhaging, some of them are big and white and haven't had a haircut in a while. I don't know about this one. Thought the dogs in Bloodborne hit hard. The damage from Elden Ring dogs makes that shit feel like getting poked with a pencil.
Good, that means I have more to look forward to when I actually do play Bloodborne.
And why do they take so many hits? What the hell? Did you dig some painkillers out of the trash too? Fuck, good luck aggroing one of these guys at a time, because there's always a twig or a bone you want.
You have a bow and arrow, my guy. You can't see his loadout because my stupid face is... Where should I move my face? I need to move it somewhere else. It's always in the way. Yeah, see, you can see in the bottom left, he's literally got a bow. Like, good luck aggroing one at a time. My brother in Christ, you have a bow and arrow. Does not want to use it.
I've had some pretty humiliating deaths to dogs in Soulsborne before, much like everyone, but they felt like honest mistakes that I could have just prevented by looking around or something. This is a very different game. If you see more than like 2 in the same room and one of them has like pimples and shit, just find another way around. It's not worth it. Number 3, crabs.
The crabs aren't that bad. The shrimp things, those are bad. Those are extremely annoying.
Isn't this universe supposed to be, I don't know, relatively somewhere in like medieval times? This is what crabs in the Jurassic period would have looked like. And these big boys are agile.
It's called fantasy.
Full of shit too. You can just be casually riding around on horseback, and these
Yeah,
things
they'll
will
just
actually
appear out of
catch
nowhere.
up with you if you're not paying attention. And how can
Yeah, they
something
will.
this big move so silently? I always feel like I see these guys before I hear them. Most of the time I find a
Yeah.
crab, I'm focusing on
Not
an
wrong.
entirely different enemy, or I don't know, picking flowers or some shit, and a giant claw just guillotines me from off screen like it got me trying to
does
steal a
happen like
goddamn
that.
secret formula. Why do so many of these guys exist, and why am I finding them in the most unlikely places? The way it used to work, you only found crabs this huge near swamps or bodies of
Yeah, Dark
water or
Souls 3.
something. You can find one here just like chilling out in someone's home. I'm surprised I'm not seeing soldiers riding.
That's not in someone's home. That's in the swampy. That's Liurnia of the Lakes. That's just in between the buildings in Liurnia of the Lakes. That still connects to the outside. That's a stupid statement.
These things by now. Number 4.
We're experiencing some technical difficulties. Wait, what?
Or ancestral archers. I don't mean to sound like I'm turning this.
Again, are they annoying? Yes, but it's more about their placement. It's not like they are kind of annoying themselves. Their shots are really fast. This feels like an enemy that would go in the 10th spot because they're not super terrible directly, but
I always felt like getting into a melee brawl with one of the ancestor followers can actually be kind of fun. They have some unpredictable combos that force you to pay attention,
I
and
guess,
fighting
but
more than one at a time can actually strain your combat reflexes and really help you dial in that parry practice. The archers can go
Okay.
fuck themselves inside out with a garden hose, and I'm gonna tell you why.
not gonna lie, his reasoning for his picks is kind of, well, stupid because he's not actually explaining properly, but
This is what it feels like being shot by an archer. These guys have eagle eyesight, and the howitzer missiles they're lobbing from out
yeah, in very, very specific parts of the world that can be annoying, but like, I don't know why, like, his picks are kind of not convincing at all. I'm very inconvinced. Like, are some of these enemies annoying? Yes. Are they so annoying that they go in top 10 most anger-inducing enemies? Like, no.
yonder feel like straight up jump scares. Just give up on dodging these things, okay? You're not streaming, no one's watching you suck the ass that you are, you don't need to feel embarrassed. Just do what everyone else does and hide behind a rock and wait for them to forget about you.
I don't. I go kill them because I refuse to not do that.
The one thing that stayed consistent in FromSoft games over the years is that object permanence is just, it's a myth. So if you just stay out of sight for a while, they'll get back to scratching their ass and then you can safely close distance. I just hope I didn't aggro another one somewhere. Oh, cool, brilliant, whatever, fuck it, just kill me. Number 5, birds.
Birds are in number 5. I think that, like, it took us this long to get to birds. These are so far, like, the only actually really annoying enemy that he's mentioned so far. The birds can kill themselves. I hate the birds. But it feels like you can never hit them. They're always, like, only next to you for, like, a second. So you have to tank or have, like, a shield to guard counter in some way. I hate the birds.
No one told me my enemies were going to have verticality too. That's not fair. Why did Godric pump so much funding into armaments for the Banished Knights when he could have just as easily raised an army of hawks and trained them to throw explosive barrels at anything that wasn't wearing the castle colors? Seriously, this is a Souls game I'm playing. I can't believe they're actually coming up with enemy concepts that are even more ridiculous. I didn't know where the bar could have been raised when I saw my first Puss of Man back in the DS3, but giant surgically modified birds that chuck barrels at you? Jesus Christ, this must be what wrestling stars feel like when someone goes for the chair. You got literal demons, firebenders, flaming chariots, all these guys are out for a piece, but you can't even make it to them because you're busy getting your ass kicked by birds. I'm not even talking about the giant crows and cavemen, like just regular run-of-the-mill dumbass birds. Like
you see, look, they're barely next to you long enough for you to actually hit them. It's so annoying. I hate the birds so much. I don't know if they're number 1 on my list, but they're pretty freaking close. Dogs and birds so far are like the only decently valid choices he's got on this list so far.
Number 6, the kindred pests. You find these centipede-looking shits mostly hiding out in mines trying.
Add a third valid choice he's put. These things are so irritating. Like, by themselves, they're fine until you get a room of like 5 of them.
To draw little pictures in the dirt with their giant toothpicks. When aggravated, they try to look strong by shoulder pressing their halberd into the air and excreting sticky threads from their back. This might also double as a mating call? I'm not a lore expert, okay? I don't know. What I do know is these threads can track you for way longer distances than they actually should, and the attack has just enough frames to outlast even the perfect roll. So you're all
sometimes, but it's more about your positioning and how it relates to your roll.
Always guaranteed to get hit.
I don't know if I want to watch Rusty as much. I feel like he's going to get me demonetized. I'm not monetized yet, but I feel like that's going to happen.
by at least one of them, even if it does do the damage equivalent of someone flicking you on the nose. But I think the most annoying part about these pricks is when you don't even know you've aggroed them, and you're just like, I don't know, trying to make a random jump or something, and for some bullshit reason that can only be explained by the cosmos, every single thread will just happen to catch you in midair and fuck up everything. Can you just like leave me alone? I'm just trying to get back to the boss and get my runes and get killed again. Number 7, pages. Ironically, I don't think these nerds have ever...
Is that the crossbow guy?
Even seen a book, let alone know how anything works outside of aiming their bullshit crossbows. Who the shit thought it was good?
Yeah, these things are real. Okay, so he's finally getting into some actually genuinely annoying enemies. Like, he hasn't mentioned... I guess that's more of an early game thing. You're not really experienced yet. You know those guys that have like 50 arms and they've got several swords and several bows in their hands? Like, those things are more annoying than half of the pixies showed so far. But we're actually finally getting into some annoying content. These guys basically punish you if you're beating the game too fast. That's what these guys exist for, because they can literally one-shot you. I'm not even joking. It happened to me recently. They can one-shot you.
Good practice to place these guys way out of view, but whenever you pick a fight with someone a football field away, they just happen to see you. Once you get close to them, it's like getting rid of a stink bug in your house. All their attacks are susceptible to parries and guard counters, and if you're right in their face with a shield, then they just won't use the crossbow anyways.
Yeah, no, like on their own up close, they're not terrible. It's just the crossbow.
But get caught social distancing in front of one, and out comes the damage burst, and there go your runes. Just
yeah, literally instantly killed.
Why? One bolt is already gonna do enough damage for me to waste a flask. Why is that just not enough to punish me for lack of awareness? Why do I have to eat a DPS cannon for breakfast because I didn't glance in a certain direction? You're really gonna pull that look both ways before you cross?
Yeah, look at that combo damage. That's so stupid. Jeez, I'm getting mad just watching it.
Bullshit. Number 8, perfumers. I don't know how to feel here. You guys remember that one episode in The Last Airbender where they tried to fake firebending to open the temple door? This
no,
is basically what these guys are doing.
I want to watch it, but I haven't seen it.
They're not actual pyromancers. They're just spraying discount Dior Sauvage everywhere and lighting it on fire and doing a cool whoosh movement with their hand to make it look like they're channeling the knowledge of some fire demon or something. Well, get ready.
Is that actually more accurate? Well, probably not, because perfumers are like a whole different... I don't know. But, literally the only thing about the perfumers that's annoying is when they cast the shield thing, and the shield keeps working on them. It just keeps regenerating shields, even if you've broken it. 2 seconds later, it'll just come back because they're still within the radius of the attack, or the shield spell. That's the only thing I find actually annoying about them. But other than that, they're not that bad.
But you look like those guys in malls that walk around wearing double billboards, and part of you is curious, so you at least want to see what it is, because anything that deserves 2 billboards is probably really cool, but then you just figure out it's like just like a
yeah, so you can even see the shields regenerating.
Subway advertisement or something. Number 9, Claymen. You only ever find these guys underground somewhere in Ainsel or Siofra, but that does nothing to change my opinion on them, nor does it argue the fact that they should be in the game to begin with. I don't even care about fighting any of you. Can you just like move your asshole out of...
I think I remember watching this video. I think you will notice that he intentionally stands in front of them and like lets them block him. These guys are not really that annoying, let's be honest. Like, if you get all of them in a group somehow, sure, they're perhaps a bit of an issue, but there's like 2 spots with them in the entire game. This list is kind of underwhelming. I'm not gonna lie.
The way rolling through crowds of trash mobs usually works because they're the kinds of enemies with poise that can be broken if you sneeze on them too hard. The Claymen are so abundant they will literally form a wall in front of you and force you to either fight them or waste 20 seconds running in the opposite direction and making them all chase you just so you can clear the blockage. Like, look at this horse shit. I feel like I'm being arrested. Can I play the game I paid for? I mean, Souls game.
Okay, no, this is easily the dumbest pick in the entire... This is easily the stupidest pick in the whole list. This is ridiculous. They aren't numerous enough to even be on the list, much less in a top 10. They exist in a very specific underground place, and they don't even get in your way. Maybe if you don't know where you're going, you constantly circle back, maybe you just kill them. They don't form a wall, per se. It's not that... This pick is stupid. The Claymen are not even that hard. The weird undead clay-looking guys in Raya Lucaria are more annoying than the Claymen. The ones that grab you and bite you on the neck to get your FP, they are more annoying than these Claymen that he's displaying on screen. This is a dumb pick. This is
have never
stupid.
been above putting cheeky CC in weird areas that can sometimes bump you off cliffs if you aren't paying attention, but like 3 dudes here can just suddenly roll up to you and surround you, and there's pretty much nothing you can do about it because they don't.
Except just roll away. They do get flinched sometimes. Like, you can still do it. This is not. You're not exactly fighting 3 like. Oh, you're not fighting 3 birds. You're fighting Clayman. These things are not hard at all.
Stagger for anyone but they selves, baby. Honorable mentions, because Miyazaki knows better than to stop just at 10. Worm faces. All the experience of being on the victim's end of a shitty gimmick status ailment without the glory of actually being in PvP. Gargoyles. Seriously, you're like the side.
Those things are an honorable mention? And yeah, he put the crabs on the list. Crabs. And he didn't mention the shrimps either. This list is kind of like 45% good.
Of a storage unit, how does that even miss? Imps. Yay! More bleed damage!
They're annoying
Rats.
us.
You do not want these guys as patrons
I
of a
guess.
comedy show. Everything you try to land just
This is definitely honorable mention material, that's for sure.
goes right over their heads. These little shits. What the fuck?
Oh yeah, see, those are the guys I was talking about.
Give me my magic back, you fuck.
Yeah, those guys that bite you. Those are more annoying than like 40% of his picks.
Hands.
Yes.
This game is fucking weird, dude. Part of me does want to refrain from spoiling the last one for people who haven't seen it.
His honorable mentions are more annoying than all of his early picks. The hands, the big hands deserve the spot over like the crabs or the perfumers or the he's got good picks, but some of these enemies are just either not that annoying, relatively speaking, or they are much easier to deal with than he is making them out to be.
Because these guys aren't exactly a dime a dozen, but there's only one spot left in this video, and every single person this piece of shit has pancaked knows exactly who I'm about to mention.
Oh,
yep,
no.
A lot of you are nodding your head right now. Okay, so...
Oh no, I think I see
Revenants
it.
can eat my balls, okay?
Yeah.
They can have a feast. Do you understand me? They can tie themselves a nice little fancy bib and just dine on my testicle sack. Always having...
Okay, so I probably won't be reacting to Rusty very often because this is really annoying for possible monetization. Like, I know I just can't have swearing in the first like certain amount of seconds, but this is extremely irritating, Rusty. Like, quit it.
Spirit summons enabled right next to a Revenant is just peak self-awareness for this game, because whoever concepted the idea for the Revenant is so conscious of its own bullshit that it just assumes you're gonna need some help. The Revenant is the kind of enemy that Ubisoft devs are gonna start putting in their games now because difficulty sells is the only lesson they bother to learn from it. I'm actually not kidding. This guy is like horrible. Every tactic you employ, it has a counter for. Try and close distance, it'll just ruin your plans and close it quicker. Back away and use magic and it will just dead-ass teleport behind you and vomit on you, causing heavy poison buildup and dealing huge damage at the same time. One isn't enough. Sure, fuck it. Just throw both of them on there.
This is actually a somewhat decent first pick. Like, I was expecting something extremely underwhelming, but no, he's not wrong. These guys are extremely irritating. If you dare mess with one, they will absolutely melt you.
This thing looks like it's using a lag switch. It's so fast. This is the enemy I would show people if I wanted to interrogate them, not convince them to buy the game. The only reliable way to take them down is to just swallow your fear, practice those picture-perfect dodges, and hope it doesn't turn around and start revving up the spanking machine. Or, I guess, just use healing on them. Yeah, apparently that's a thing. And I guess the Crucible Knights. Those guys are annoying too, but at least they look cool.
No, those guys are fun to fight. Well, he died. He just straight up died. Bro's dead. Bro is dead. This is gonna be probably a pretty short video because honestly, the video itself is 10 minutes long. His picks were just not very good. I'm not gonna lie. Some of them were fine, and then you got like birds, dogs, pretty obvious ones. Then you got stuff like the sorcerers.
It's a legend. I thought it'd be funny to
and Ryan Lucaria.
Cool it with all the cross heads to you.
Dogs, decent.
Relatively exist, and why am I finding them in the most help you dial in that parry practice?
Those archer guys, I keep forgetting about those.
Go, fuck one thing that stayed wearing the castle colors. Seriously, this is a Souls game I'm playing. Birds. Even if it does crossbows. Who the shit thought it was enough to punish fire demon or casted an actual spell in their entire that can be broken if you and there's pretty much nothing. Okay, this game is fucking weird, dude. As patrons at a comic.
So half of his video, half of the picks are nonsense. I just went back and looked. 5 out of the 10 are complete nonsense and do not deserve to be on the list in the slightest. I guarantee you I can find a 10 times better video with much more valid picks. These guys are maybe inconveniences sometimes. Like the perfumers. The thing about the perfumers is they're not the type of enemy to kill you. They are the type of enemy to harass you, but not even that frequently. They are not that irritating. Those archer guys that he was talking about, where they blew, these things. The archer variants of those, they aren't frequent enough to make a list like this. They aren't. Now, the Revenant may be rare, but holy crap, they are so powerful and irritating that they can be on a list like this. But then he puts things like the giant hands in the honorable mention, which sometimes just don't stop attacking you, and have aggro 10 times some of these enemies. This list makes no sense. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of not surprised that only Waifu had to react to one of his terrible tier lists. Although even that video had its issues. Yeah, this one's not very good. I don't understand his selection here. I should make a video like this on my own. Honestly, pretty much just birds. Like, for me, it's just the birds. I don't know why the birds are so stupidly obnoxious. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me. Thanks for watching this Ashen reaction. This list was terrible. What did I even waste my time doing this for? Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, and don't you dare go hollow.